Dumb bleep number 1 goes to the WNBA, at least some of the players. They got T-shirts on. They came out for warm-ups, and their shirts say, "Pay us what you owe us." Now, let's watch the video of them doing this. It's like the most athletic thing I've ever seen them do. Here they come. Let's welcome the night official. There they are. You see, they do in fact have shirts on that say, "Pay us what you owe us."
Now, can we get the layup routine? Did you bring that video in?
I didn't bring any of that stuff in. Let's see.
Did you bring in the air ball routine?
I didn't bring that in either.
Oh.
No. We
really
can
missed
just
an
talk.
opportunity here.
We're going to talk purely financials on this. Okay. Now those are good examples of why a lot of people just don't watch the WNBA. Now this picture right here, this is fake. The T-shirt did not say "I deserve NBA money." But this person said, "I just looked up hers and Angel Reese's salary, $80,000 a year. How are they earning less than a Target store manager?" Easy answer. Target store manager works for a company that makes money. And she works for a company that has only ever lost money every year that it's ever existed. And that's with the NBA chipping in like 60%. Okay. So, yeah, that's
purely
one reason.
financial standpoint, they have no money.
They ain't got
and
no money.
in fact, I think those T-shirts came from the WNBA. It's for the players to say, pay us what you owe us.
The NBA actually sent that to
Yes.
them. Yeah. You guys owe us money.
You owe us money for playing on our courts. All right. And using a small ladies ball, with your 3-point line that's not as far.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I don't know why they don't just lower the goal down. Like, I know someone would say that that's like, I don't know, misogynistic or whatever. I don't know what you'd call it. But why don't they just lower the goal down a little bit? Like, it's clear they can't dunk it. It's too high up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the sport would actually be a lot more fun to watch if we would just have ladies play on like a 9-foot goal instead.
Although they already use a smaller ball that's easier to go into the rim. It's the same size rim, by the way. So
that's awesome. Let's see what Caitlin Clark had to say about this.
Where does your W salary stack up against your deals with State Farm, Gatorade, Nike?
That's a good question. Honestly, I feel like that's where we're really fortunate is that we have those other deals. And I think that's one of the things that we're in the room fighting for, like Fee said, is, we should be paid more, and hopefully that's the case moving forward as the league continues to grow. I think that's something that's probably the most important thing that we're in the room advocating about.
It's just, the weirdest.
By the way, this is a multimillionaire now talking because her deals exceed multi-millions of dollars with Gatorade and Nike, and
she's making plenty of money.
Yeah, she's making
Which,
by the way, she brings in that amount of money for those retailers.
She's clearly highly valuable.
Yes, so is Angel Reese. Angel Reese brings in a lot of money for these folks.
The funny thing is, if they opened it up to where, let's say they paid Caitlin Clark like $3 million a year salary, and Angel Reese like $2.5 million a year salary.
She gets $25,000 deducted for every brick.
Like, no, all the other bitches on that team would quit. They'd be so mad about it, even though I can't even name any of them at all. Like they would just quit immediately, even though it probably would be very fair. Here's another one. This person says, imagine being an employee at a company that has never turned a profit and showing up to work in these shirts. Well, that's a fine point, isn't it? That is a really good point. This person responds and says, if you're an employee, the employer's profit margin isn't your problem or responsibility. They need to pay you what you are worth, or they can't have said employee.
Okay.
Only in the U.S. are people expected to have some bizarre allegiance to a company with no reciprocation. It's a work cult.
Okay. Well, let's just get rid of the WNBA.
Yeah,
then.
I mean, they're getting paid more than what they're worth. Now, they're getting paid a living wage. They're getting paid money when the organization that's paying them is losing money. I think they lost $40 or $50 million in 2024 even, which is way more than they lost in the previous years, actually.
With increased ticket sales.
Yeah, with increased now, apparently they're investing in growth and stuff like that, so it was like a high expense year.
And I do think the players are going to get paid more because they are getting a new TV deal that it starts next year. that's worth in the billions of dollars now. And so
they do joint deals with the NBA and WNBA. So the NBA negotiates TV deals, and a certain percentage of that is for the WNBA because they're just living off the backs of the guys.
And I know you
Just all
guys
it
have
is.
been lacking in your WNBA content, so no worries. It's coming to Amazon Prime, I think, and some other
Finally.
outlets. I know.
Finally.
Yeah. I mean, I've been itching.
Yeah, I've been waiting
Just
for that
to-
for sure.
And I feel part of me does feel a little bit bad, but until like if you watch their content, it just sucks.
Yeah,
Like they're not very good at basketball, and most like decent high school teams could beat any one of the WNBA teams, and I would put money on that.
it's probably true.
And it
I would
has
say
nothing.
I'd
Nothing
say
bad
at
about
least college. High school might be.
No, then you don't
Yeah,
watch. You don't watch
probably high
the. You
school.
don't watch
Probably
the
high school.
WNBA.
Yeah, no, I don't. I maybe think they're better than what they are right now. I would say for sure men's college teams could mop the
Let
floor.
me just tell you. Let me give you one
Which is
stat.
ironic.
Let me give you one stat that'll blow your mind. So Angel Reese, that's her picture next to Caitlin Clark there, I think. She leads the leagues. She leads the leagues in rebounds. But did you know that about 50% or more of her rebounds come from her own missed shots?
That's awesome.
So she misses a layup, gets
Yeah.
the rebound, misses a layup, gets about 3 rebounds per made shot, I think, of her own missed shots. It's tough to watch. And look, there is a very simple solution to this. We've talked about this with women's soccer. It's a very easy solution to this. Women control about 80% of consumer decisions. Okay? All they have to do is consume WNBA content.
Yeah, they need to.
And they would
want-
make more money than the
like,
guys.
They need to want to go to a WNBA game as much as they want to go to a Justin Timberlake concert or something like that. You know,
or an NBA.
or an NBA game.
Yeah.
You know, they need to want to do that and go do it, and it needs to be like the thing that the girl wants to do. And if the guy doesn't want to go, then he is a terrible boyfriend or a husband because this is something she cares about deeply and she
Have
wants
a
to go
girls'
watch
night.
it, or have a girls' night, something like
Yeah.
that. But it's just not. It's just
Skip
clearly
the wine and charcuterie. Go
So,
watch some girls throw around a ball terribly. And you know,
Okay.
maybe it will get better. I like your idea of lowering the goal 9 foot. I think
I
that would.
don't know what they make the ball smaller. They make the 3-point line closer.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have the? It's clear that after all these years have gone by, and the girls still can't dunk it. I don't think they're gonna. Maybe some. Is there a girl that can dunk it? I don't know.
There's been a couple
Brittany
girls that
Griner, who's allegedly a girl,
have dunked it a few times.
Okay. So it's clear that most of them are not going to evolve to the point that they can dunk a basketball. All right. So I just like the 3-point line got moved closer, the ball got made smaller. Why don't we make the goal lower too? I'm just saying. Maybe make the hoop a whole lot bigger. So anyhow, those are my ideas.
I have to say this. One of the Fed Haters Club members says lower the goal and add a graphic for every dunk called the Clam Slam.
That ain't right.
If you want to jam,
That ain't
welcome
right.
to the Clam Slam.
That's not right.
Pretty funny.
Okay,
So
that's number one.
Number one.
WNBA. You got to take any.
The problem is they owe the WNBA money
the NBA money.
and the NBA,
The NBA. Yeah, they
Yes.
do. Okay, number 2 is this.
which my grandpa told me when we couldn't afford food at a restaurant growing up, you had to go work dishes.
Yeah,
So they probably need to be doing the
they should
dishes
start washing dishes at
should-
the stadium.
and making sandwiches or something.
They start serving food to people like at halftime. They should go out and serve beer to people. Probably bring beer and cook food in the locker room.
Yeah.
That's what they got to do. They try and, every little bit counts.
And more people might
So-
watch the WNBA
That's true, actually.
if they do those things.
Okay, number 2 is the saga that has happened around
I love jokes.
Stephen Colbert's show, The Late Show, getting canceled.
Someone else who was losing money.
Yeah, he was also losing money
Wasn't it
between
about the same? About 40
40 and 40 to 50 million dollars a year. They got a staff of 200 people working on that one show. They lose 40 to 50 million dollars a year, and it got canceled. Now it got canceled like a day or two after he called out Paramount, CBS, for settling a lawsuit with Trump. And we're going to talk about that. So Elizabeth Warren says CBS canceled Colbert's show just 3 days. It says it right there. I didn't have to guess how many days. After Colbert called out CBS parent company Paramount for its $16 million settlement with Trump, a deal that looks like bribery. America deserves to know if his show was canceled for political reasons. Watch and share his message. So we're going to play this clip of him, the original one, before his show was canceled. And I want you to imagine. This is a guy whose audience has been dwindling and dwindling. The whole late show audience, all of them, all the different late shows. It's not the 90s anymore. Like no one's getting on there at 10:30 p.m., whatever it is, to watch this late show.
And by the way, the only one, if you are, is going to be Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, maybe. Well, Colbert is leading all of the late shows. So
really?
Still, he gets more. Yeah. But everyone knows that the funniest clips, because you got to sit through all kinds of stuff that's not exciting. The funniest clips are going to be online tomorrow. So, like, why am I going to spend time going to watch this thing live right now? You know, it's just, and so that means that the advertisers aren't paying for it like they used to. And so all these shows are losing money. So you got to remember, his audience has been dwindling and dwindling. He's losing $40 to $50 million a year while he's getting paid. I think he actually makes about $16 million a year himself. The show's losing 40 to 50 million. And he gets up there after the company that is paying him a lot of money and is losing money every year on his show. He gets up there and calls them out for settling a lawsuit that they've been involved in and calls them out for 2.5 minutes.
That they probably would have lost and paid more money.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they would have. We don't have to figure that. They could have lost it. It's definitely true. They could have lost it.
My parent corporation, Paramount, paid Donald Trump a $16 million settlement over his 60 Minutes lawsuit. As someone who has always been a proud employee of this network, I'm offended. And I don't know if anything will ever repair my trust in this company. But just taking a stab at it, I'd say $16 million would help. This settlement.
He does get $16 million a year while they're losing money.
This settlement is for a nuisance lawsuit Trump filed claiming that 60 Minutes deceptively edited their interview with then-candidate Kamala Harris last fall. Paramount knows they could have easily fought it because, in their own words, the lawsuit was completely without merit. And keep in mind, Paramount produced Transformers: Rise of the Beast. They know completely without merit. Now, unlike the payoffs from ABC and Twitter, Paramount's settlement did not include an apology. Instead, that's good. Instead, the corporation released a statement where they said, "You may take our money, but you will never take our dignity. You may, however, purchase our dignity for the low, low price of $16 million. We need the cash." Now, I believe...
Is he doing Conan O'Brien ripoffs?
What can I say?
With his little moves?
What can I say?
know.
Mr. Stephen loves to dance. Now, I believe this kind of complicated financial settlement with a sitting government official has a technical name in legal circles. It's big fat bribe. Because this all comes as Paramount's owners are trying to get the Trump administration to approve the sale of our network to a new owner, Skydance. Not the music I was expecting. Okay. That was me dancing in the sky. And some of the TV typers out there are blogging that once Skydance gets CBS, the new owner's desire to please Trump could put pressure on late-night host and frequent Trump critic Stephen Colbert. Okay. But how are they going to put pressure on Stephen Colbert if they can't find him?
They'll just fire him. They'll fire. That's what they'll do.
It's kind of funny to just play that right there. Now, he said a lot of things in there. Really, I mean, I cannot imagine knowing, I'm sure he knows, that your show is losing $40, $50 million a year and getting up there while they're paying you a big fat salary to lose them money every single year and getting up there and spending over 2 minutes calling out the company, saying that you can purchase our dignity for $16 million, calling out a movie that they also produced, like well, that's fine, that's fair game, whatever, saying that they bribed Trump, like you're calling out the company that pays your salary while you lose them money every year. All right, that's ridiculous. And so then we get this,
Buddy, we got a great show for you tonight. Senator Adam Schiff was my guest. We harmonized on 7 Bridges Road. What a voice. I cried. But before we start the show, I want to let you know something that I found out just last night. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And yeah, I share your feelings. It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away. And I do want to say, that the folks at CBS have been great partners. I'm so grateful to the Tiffany Network for giving me this chair.
All right, there we go. There's that. So he does lose his job. We see that.
And now he's grateful.
Now he's also grateful to CBS. Here's a little bit more from Colbert. It is funny that so Colbert has been specifically anti-Trump. It's one of the reasons I actually used to love The Late Show with David Letterman. Like, I thought it was hilarious. And I used to love Jimmy Fallon's show before he moved over to replace Jay Leno.
Jay Leno.
Who he replaced. I still like Fallon more, for sure. But Colbert has just been, like, so partisan. Like,
until what's-his-name came on about the COVID stuff.
Only for
the
left
other Late Show host.
Jon Stewart, but Stephen Colbert was freaking out that entire time and trying to throw him off that whole time. Now I guess we owe it to Stephen Colbert for airing that Jon Stewart moment that made it okay for us to all talk about how the virus clearly was leaked from a lab. You know, so that's great.
I did, and I agree with Magoo here. I do, from the Fed Haters Club, joingmail.com. Conan O'Brien was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He moved over to TBS, I think.
And then I think he's just done. He just has a podcast.
Also got canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole
It turns
show,
out the just the product itself, it doesn't matter who you put there, doesn't seem to be faring well.
No, it's just not doing well. Here's a little bit more.
I gotta say, it makes sense we'd be canceled. I get it, guys. And thanks again. Okay, thanks again to the network. In a completely unrelated story, on Friday, Donald Trump posted, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings." How dare you, sir? Would an untalented man be able to compose the following satirical witticism? Go yourself.
All right, so we got a little bit more there. There's some of that. And then we get responses from other people. So I wanted to play a couple different responses from people. First,
How is the Breakfast Club not canceled?
well, they've actually got a pretty big audience, which is, pretty big radio show. I think the audience is in the millions, tons of YouTube viewers and stuff as well. Listeners on podcast app and stuff. Like, this is a show that's got an audience of millions of people, which actually makes what he's about to say pretty funny.
What it is, Paramount is looking for FCC approval for its Skydance merger. Trump can block that if he wants to. So canceling Colbert is an obvious move to appease Donald Trump. And I need to tell y'all something. If you don't think we are under a regime with an authoritarian strategy, then you are bugging. This is textbook authoritarian rule. Target your critic, centralize power in a few hands, intimidate through punishment or removal. And you know what that usually does? Shuts people the F up. Okay, tightens control over public discourse, sends a message to all media outlets that criticism of Trump could cost you access, approval, editorial control, or your job. This is what authoritarian regimes do. They weaponize legal systems to punish dissent and control messaging. What happened with Paramount and Trump is intimidation tactics disguised.
So there's a super ironic thing about a guy who, according to the research I did, has got like 4 to 8 million weekly listeners on his show, talking about how this is clearly an authoritarian trying to crush dissent and censor people that are critical of him. that idea just doesn't work anymore. Like, we have so many shows that are out there. Look at like that Midas Touch podcast or whatever, beats out Joe Rogan a lot, We
were talking about earlier, just
don't-
when you're like, there's so much content,
Yeah.
you don't even know which one to click on.
You don't go after like CBS's Late Show in order to crush dissent out there. That's you got the news out there, you got podcasts, you got all these YouTube shows, you got all
the
these
Breakfast
people on the
Club.
radio, like everyone, you got social media accounts, all these things that are out there. I'm still shocked they haven't gone after podcasts yet. I'm sure that's going to come eventually, people going after podcasts, but that whole idea just doesn't work. Now where the heck is the Sonny Hostin video? There we go. Let's see what Sonny, you always want to hear what The View has to say about something. I don't know about you. When I am in a situation, I'm like, what does The View think about this? And so let's see that.
It could be financial. And I don't know that it's purely political. It could be. But my concern is, if it is political, then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned. Because it's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right? And so the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason, and that is freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to speak truth to power. If that is taken away, if the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled.
That's right.
That means the very rubric of our democracy is being dismantled. And I think every single person should be really, really concerned about it. I'm thrilled that...
I know what it was. This was a racist decision.
It was also racist. It's not just that. Like I forgot even the whole speak truth to power thing, which is like what Tim Walz said about Stephen Colbert. He's always spoken truth to power. And I didn't bring in the clips. Like, you remember the vaccine? Yeah, a whole lot of speaking truth to power. Oh, we're announcing that we're going off the air next year tonight. Stay tuned for our guest Adam Schiff, who's going to be here to talk to all you guys. Like, no, we didn't speak truth to power. He speaks his opinion to the side of power that he doesn't like. He's totally fine with the other side having power.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't care about that at all.
Totally fine with their authoritarian demands, like forcing medicine into your body.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Okay, Ed Markey's upset about this. We got that. Colbert called out Paramount's $16 million Trump settlement. His show was canceled just days later. I sent a letter to Paramount demanding answers. I'm not going to read the letter. Don't worry. Bernie Sanders says this is what the march toward authoritarianism looks like right here.
God, these people are just annoying.
I know they're super bad. We don't have to read his letter. We all know it's dumb.
Look,
They've
and
got
here's the thing:
Charlemagne.
it could have absolutely been political. Who cares? What about the freedom of speech of the company? To say, like, look, we don't like what you're saying on our network. This is our network.
Well, there's a problem there. If they did it, like, let's say,
No, I know there might be a legal problem, but I'm saying there shouldn't be.
well, if
I should be able to fire anyone for any reason whatsoever that I want.
you should, but the question would be, did they fire him because they're currently trying to get their merger approved by the government, and the person who
Which
runs
shouldn't exist.
That's okay. So there's the problem
Yeah.
right there. Anyone who is upset about potentially this merger causing this problem, like if that's your conspiracy theory about this, and that's what you think happened was so they could get the merger through, then you just want to get rid of, I think it was the FCC that was FCC and the that's who it was, not FTC, FCC, yeah. That's who was actually, they won't let me be. That's who was actually having to approve this merger. And why are we doing this? Why do they have to approve whether or not one company wants to merge or buy another company? You're telling the company they can't just buy another company if they want to?
Right.
You're also telling someone who owns a company that they're not allowed to sell their company to a person who wants to pay money for it. Like that's ridiculous.
Which is insane.
And guess what? It creates the opportunity for potential bribes and corruption to exist in the system. That is absolutely possible. But I don't think it's what happened in this scenario, because Paramount has plenty of other shows that are not real easy on Trump all the time. Paramount, by the way, owns Comedy Central, which has got The Daily Show, which has got Jon Stewart, who was, and all the other people at The Daily Show, who I believe also has his own F-bombs to drop.
Wait, bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let it be quiet. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Everybody. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself.
All right. So there's your message to.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's such great comedy.
That's good comedy
right there.
Centralized comedy.
I'm laughing quite a lot right now. It's also very funny. Paramount also has South Park, which has done their own thing, making fun of Trump very recently. And South Park, by the way, so the idea has to be that Trump had this backdoor deal, behind-the-scenes deal to say, hey, you got to get rid of this super critical Trump thing. Like, you guys, we're going to let this merger go through, but we don't want you doing this super anti-Trump stuff all the time, okay? And I guess they apparently just picked Stephen Colbert as the person to go after, like one of the people with the, probably the lowest audience of people that are out there super critical of Trump all the time.
Not all the other ones.
Like not South Park, who can be super critical. And so South Park airs, now, let me go through the news here properly. After canceling Colbert for financial reasons, Paramount pays $1.5 billion for South Park streaming rights. Did you hear about the deal that they just got?
No.
$1.5 billion for 5 years for South Park. That's pretty crazy. Now, what's funny about this?
South Park must be making money.
Yeah. What's funny about this from Fortune magazine is they put quotes around the word financial as if the reasoning after canceling Colbert for financial reasons, they paid $1.5 billion for South Park streaming rights. Okay, one of those shows loses money. The other show makes a bleep ton of money. All right, and it's actually super cheap to produce because it's animated and it takes them, from what I read, like 4 days to make an episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they make a ton of money and have a lot of people to watch it. And they had this clip, which, no, that's a file folder. They had this clip, which was not, I didn't find any of the stuff funny. Like, I'm fine making fun of Trump and doing like whatever Epstein jokes and stuff like that on South Park. That's fine. I didn't find it really funny at all. But
Hey, what the is this, better?
This is the painting you asked for, sir.
Why is my dick so small?
But that's the size it is in the photo.
Get this guy out of here. I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna sue both of you. Nobody makes fun of me and gets away with it.
God.
Hey, Satan.
I don't want to right now.
What? Hey, relax. Come on, Satan. I've been working hard all day.
You haven't been working. You've been doing your stupid memes and just around.
Give me a game. Ah, come on, Satan. You know you can't resist this.
I can't even see anything. It's so small.
Hey, I'll sue you.
God, you.
Ah, come on, Satan. Don't be like that.
all right, so a good way.
God, that's ridiculous.
A good way to prove out this point is to see if Paramount backs out on their South Park deal.
They won't.
No, they're not going to back out on it because it makes a ton of money, and that's what matters.
That's what companies are set up
That's
for.
what they're going for. Okay. All right, we got to move on to Dumb Bleep number 3. Here we go. This one came from the live group. Thank you all so much for all these submissions. This one was really funny. I'll show you this post right here from the Democrats at the Democrats. Trump's America. And they've got this thing, and I wanted to include right here that it got deleted pretty quick. So Trump's America, it's a thing that says U.S. grocery prices reach record highs in 2025. Prices are higher today than they were on July 2024 in all major categories. And if you haven't seen this, you should be watching right now on YouTube, but or in the Fed Haters Club. If you haven't seen this, it is a chart that shows from October of 2019. And that's where the graph starts, the line chart starts, and it goes up until probably the most recently released information. Now, the problem that whoever posted this did not think about at all was that we had very little inflation during the first part of this line chart, and then it just explodes. Now, what's the problem with that? The problem with that is that they just showed everyone exactly how much prices increased while Biden was in office.
Right.
And so
now I do want to be fair.
Absolutely.
That
say the line.
There is a delay. There is a delay in inflation, and the legislation that was passed during COVID led a lot to this. And on top of the legislation that Biden passed, it was all they both did it. But unfortunately, Biden was presiding over the explosion.
Yeah, and I do think,
and it's still wrong for them to say, "Well, this is Trump's America." That's wrong.
Same thing. Well, the dumber part about it was, from what I can tell, like they're trying to show that prices reach record highs in 2025. Prices are higher today. Like you only have to look at this little section of the chart to, I guess, get the point that they're trying to show you. And they just post this big thing showing how much the prices went up while Biden was in office. And I guarantee whoever posted this just didn't think anything about it. Like they didn't even understand what the lines meant at all.
Look, alcohol's come down under Trump. And so is cheese.
How about that?
So you wine and cheese connoisseurs are definitely doing well under Trump.
Now, clearly, we still have inflation. Like people who think that prices overall are just going to come down. I don't know if that's ever really going to happen. The Fed itself aims for 2% average inflation, so they still think prices are going to go up on average 2%. In different categories, they can go down over certain periods of time. But prices overall,
TVs are still getting cheaper.
Not. Yeah,
I mean,
TVs still get cheaper.
It seems
for
like
sure.
the bigger you go on a TV, the cheaper it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
unless you get like
per inch.
Unless you get
pretty
the
good deal.
LED or whatever.
So that's pretty funny. Now they deleted that. They deleted it, unfortunately for them, after it had 1.3 million views. So plenty of people had it to post around and make fun of them today on this. But another really funny part about this was Ted Lieu, who is a Democrat congressman from California. He still posted this out and said #Trumpflation, using just the picture, the post of this graph right here, which really just encompasses the time that Biden was in office and hardly any time that Trump was in office, really at all. And so that gives us just a great opportunity to make fun of those people. So
which is why it's in dumb bleep.
That's the Democrats page is pretty dumb. And they did have a really good or like really stupid federal minimum wage post as well. Just so you know, the reason that didn't get in this week is because we did the Nina Turner thing last week, where we talked quite a lot about the minimum wage at the end of Dumb Bleep of the Week last week, and so I didn't want to go back into it again today, even though we need to just record a definitive video on the federal minimum wage. Number 4, Democrat. This is from Zero Hedge, and we're going to read from a New York Post article because Zero Hedge's website is laid out like a toddler made it. Democrats' all-electric USPS fleet sees each truck come with a $6.8 million price tag.
What?
So what? Yeah, that's crazy. There's
$6.8 million per truck?
There's a reason. Now, to be fair, that's not what they thought it was going to cost. It was going to cost $77,000 per truck.
Oh.
Okay. Now, to be even more fair, what actually happened here was they paid out $1.7 billion to a company, Oshkosh, who didn't know how to make the truck and haven't been able to figure out how to make the truck. And they were supposed to have several thousand done by now, and they've got 93
Oshkosh Bagosh
that are done. Yeah, that are done right now. And this money, some of this money got clawed back from the Inflation Reduction Act in the Big Beautiful Bill. And so while I'm just going to summarize it. We don't even have to read the article. I'm going to summarize it. While they've spent $1.7 billion and only got, I think in total, like it was somewhere between 90 and 200 trucks is what they got from them. They clawed back the rest of it, and they're like ending the contract. And I don't know if they're going to get the rest of the trucks. And Oshkosh literally said, "We don't know how to make the damn truck." Like that was a quote. It was an actual quote.
It's a quote
from them. Let me find that. A senior executive at Oshkosh attempted to alert USPS about the production problems in 2022, but was blocked by their superiors He says, this is the bottom line. We don't know how to make a damn truck.
Quote. Quote.
One person involved with the manufacturing process told the Washington Post.
We don't know how to make a damn truck.
Now imagine for a moment, your government.
Instead of giving like Tesla the money,
Yeah.
we give Oshkosh the money.
Your government takes $3 billion of your dollars, your grandkids' dollars. They take $3 billion of your grandkids' dollars, and they give it to someone to make a truck who says they don't know how to make a damn truck. They apparently don't have a concept. That maybe they have a concept, but they don't. It's pretty funny, right?
I'm laughing. It's painful, you know, just to think about.
They don't have like a
like
prototype.
you have to pay taxes, you know?
Yeah.
And this is because they don't care. They don't have to care.
No, you know what happens? Someone is friends with someone who is either invested in Oshkosh or works at Oshkosh, and they paid the right congressperson or whoever to get that money for them added into the bill, even though they had no idea what they were doing when it came to making this truck. They didn't have a prototype made. They had no clue how they were going to make it. And to this day, I believe they said the number was 93 that they've been able to make, and it was supposed to be 3,000 right now, with a total of, I think, 45,000 total vehicles. And we don't know how to make it. Sorry. What do you want us to do about
Looks
it?
like the mail truck production has struggled to clear a number of engineering hurdles, including issues with airbag calibration and during leak testing, which resulted in water pouring out as if the vehicle's oversized windows had been left open in a storm.
Awesome. That's cool.
You just imagine driving your truck down the road and it's like all the windows are up and everything, but you're just getting slapped in the face.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. This is another thing I made sure we left out. This is from the Washington Post article that they referenced in this New York Post article. It says, work begins and prices rise. As Oshkosh fell behind, it raised its prices. Because that's what a company does when you give them money and it turns out they don't know how to make the thing that you just paid them over $1 billion to make, is they then turn around because they're dealing with the government. They're not dealing with some private actor, with some free market individual who wants these things. Because they're dealing with the government, they turned around and raised their prices because they didn't know what they were doing, so it was taking them longer to build each truck.
We need to hire some more engineers.
Yeah.
So can we get some more money, please?
We're trying to poach some of Tesla's people.
We need some
right
truck
now.
builders.
Yeah.
Do you know of any truck builders? Because we don't have any truck builders.
In March 2023, the company and Postal Service agreed to an Inflation Reduction Act premium adjustment. According to contracts obtained by the Post, as the Postal Service ordered more EVs, the cost rose to $2.6 billion for 35,000 vehicles. For 2,000 gas-powered vehicles, the agency agreed to pay $54K per truck. For 28,000 EVs, it would pay $77K per truck.
Mm-hmm.
So they got hardly any of them. They paid out 1.7 of the $3 billion that was getting paid out. The rest of it got clawed back, and that's what we paid per truck. And I'm sure they're going to work great. They're going to be super long-lasting vehicles, I bet. We know that. Okay, that was number 4. How about number 5? This one came from the live group as well. Tell me about it, Charles.
All right, construction has been halted at the new Tennessee Titans Stadium right here in Nashville after Noose found at the site. So, you know, the Nashville Superspeedway is not far from here either.
Yeah.
NASCAR. I wonder if somebody came from NASCAR.
They took the noose that they
in
found
the
hanging
garage.
there.
Yeah.
And they brought it over to the construction site.
All right, construction on a new enclosed stadium for the Tennessee Titans in Nashville, Tennessee has been halted after a noose was found at the construction site. Metro Nashville Police spokesperson Kristen Munford said in an email on Friday that they are aware and investigating.
What are you investigating?
There's a noose on the loose.
Tell me what you're investigating. The person goes there. They're like, yep, it's a noose. Take it down and get back to work.
The Tennessee Builders Alliance. There's a loose noose out there, man. You can't. What are you going to do? You can't get back to work until you find the noose maker. Yep. The TBA, the Tennessee Builders Alliance, a joint venture partnership on the stadium, said it suspended construction at the site after the racist and hateful symbol was discovered this week. Quote.
Okay, listen, 100% chance. I'm not leaving any opportunity for anything else. This is some guy who needed to go somewhere for a couple days. He wanted a couple days off. He was tired.
Vacation.
Put a noose up there, alerted his boss to it, and then got a couple days off from working.
Quote, we are requiring additional anti-bias training for every person on site, and work will resume only after a site-wide stand-down focused on inclusion and respect.
I hate it when unconscious bias leads you to put up a noose at your work site. That sucks.
The Alliance has launched an investigation and is now offering a reward for information leading to the identification of those responsible.
Yeah, let me show you. Let's talk about that real quick. Here we go. This is says Nashville Building and Construction Trades Council condemns the noose incident, and here he goes. This tweet here, Charlie.
There has been an update though. The Tennessee Builders Alliance has offered a $250,000 reward for information regarding the loose noose.
I'm telling you
what, noose on the loose.
That's enough to get me to go tie some nooses up around the place. Let me tell you what.
There has been an update, though. Work has resumed on the new Titan Stadium after it was paused when a noose was found on site, which means the guy must have finished his vacation, and now they can get back to work.
Okay, so I don't guess we should say this while recording. Maybe we'll cut this out of the episode. But if someone wants to contact us privately, I've got a business idea for you. I've got a money-making opportunity that we could come together on.
Saith Nathaniel Thurston.
So if anyone here is interested, we don't live too far away from the stadium. So y'all just let me know, okay? All right, number 6. We're going to talk more about the Redskins thing later. And we're going to talk about the last part of this from Adam Schefter right now. President Donald Trump is threatening to hold up a new stadium deal for Washington's NFL team if it does not restore its old name of the Redskins that is considered offensive to Native Americans.
It's actually not considered offensive to them if you ask them.
Yeah.
Like you ask the Native Americans, they don't
I talk to them.
Any offense,
actually. Personally, I didn't talk to him, but you know who has talked to him? A lot of people have asked about this. Now, on the substance here, threatening to hold up a new stadium deal for Washington's NFL team. First off, I'll tell you, this is going to go for BLEEP number 9. Probably not going to hold up the stadium deal. He's probably trying to distract people from the Epstein thing. And so this is him talking about switching the team back to the Redskins. 2, if he is serious about that, that's stupid.
Well, this is another like 80-20 issue. It's like 80%.
It is.
Most NFL people are pretty conservative, and they think that the name change is dumb, and they want it to go back.
And the Native Americans are in the 80%.
They are
issue, and the 20% is just white liberal women. That's all it is. So I was going to say, like, first off, they shouldn't be given any money for a new stadium anyway. Whoever owns the team should pay for the freaking stadium. I'll say
with the Titans, dude.
I know. Just say it right here. They got the money.
Like
they should pay for the stadium. All right?
$1.5 billion of the $2 billion for the Titans is coming from the freaking taxpayers.
Oh, but it's just a hotel tax on the tourists. Those are the only people that are going to pay for it. It could be true. I don't know. Or they've been jacking up all of our taxes around here. I don't want to talk about that right now. New poll. This is from. This is an old one.
Sorry, this is a 90-10 issue.
Yeah.
My bad.
New poll finds 9 in 10 Native Americans aren't offended by Redskins name. This is from the Washington Post. 9 in 10 Native Americans say they are not offended by the Washington Redskins name, according to a new Washington Post poll that shows how few ordinary Indians have been persuaded by a national movement to change the football team's moniker. The survey of 504 people across every state and the district reveals that the minds of Native Americans have remained unchanged since a 2004 poll by the Annenberg Public Policy Center found the same result. Responses to the Post questions about the issue are broadly consistent regardless of age, income, education, political party, or proximity to reservations. This is what the poll looks like. Actually, when you hear 9 in 10, you might think that 1 in 10 found it offensive. It was actually only 0.9 in 10 because 1%, they just got no opinion at all.
Quite frankly,
they're like, I'm trying to skin this here Tatanka, and y'all need to get off the res right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to shoot the white man. Seriously, get out of here.
What kind of dumbass question is this?
I ain't got time. Nobody got time for this. So only 9% of the people polled found this offensive, while 20% of the people listening to this episode found what we just said offensive. Let's see. 90% of people said it does not bother. Speaking of that poll they mentioned, Annenberg Public Policy Center in 2004 found the same thing. 9 and 10 said that they did not find it offensive, and 9% found the name offensive. It literally didn't change from 2004 to 2016.
Same.
It's got the exact same results. It's pretty crazy.
Same.
Okay, well that's the offensive Redskins thing. We might mention it again here in a little bit. Number 7. Okay. This one's dumb, but it also gives us an opportunity to play that Trump Jerome Powell video that I sent you yesterday because it was so awkward. It was so awkward.
Yeah.
Not really dumb itself, but it was so freaking awkward. As you guys know, Trump has been lashing out at the chair of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, for quite some time.
Mostly upset about not lowering interest rates.
Calls him too late, Powell, and wants him to lower the rates, even though the inflation last month was 2.9%. Year-over-year inflation released last month was 2.9%. Their target is 2%. We still haven't made it down to the 2% rate.
Inflation was up compared to the previous month.
It's actually up from then. So, he still wants him to lower it. And he's been threatening to fire him quite a lot. Has threatened to fire him many times. It actually drafted like a letter where he was going to fire him and showed it to Republicans.
Then he backed off of it.
Yeah, then he moved back on that because there's some legal questions. One of the things they moved to is this new building, these buildings, however many buildings there are, the new building that they're building there at the Fed is having cost overruns. So they said it was going to cost X amount, and it's costing more than that. And that's what a cost overrun is.
Yeah.
Just in case you guys
X
are wondering.
plus C amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So now we got Fed Chair Jerome Powell's getting hit.
So basically, Trump is finding other ways to go after Powell to make him resign or something.
It's authoritarianism.
Exactly.
So Fed Chair Jerome Powell has been hit with a criminal referral by the House GOP. Trump ally Anna Paulina Luna has referred Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell to the Department of Justice for criminal charges, accusing him of 2 specific instances of lying under oath. Luna is accusing Powell of perjury on 2 occasions, according to a letter to the DOJ. And just, this comes down to him saying things like, oh, we're not going to do a bunch of lavish stuff. And then turns out they're doing a bunch of marble. And so that's lavish. And they're doing water features and stuff. And so, that's lavish stuff. So they're saying he lied. You know what? Sure. Bring them up on charges for spending more of the taxpayers' money than they're supposed to, whatever. It's a little bit hypocritical considering everyone does that. And the amount of money we're talking about is a whole 8 minutes worth of funding.
What about all the new gold in the Oval Office?
Yeah, seems to be a lot of gold that popped up there in the Oval Office. Trump even mentioned it in one of the videos we're going to be playing later about how much nicer it looks.
It kind of looks like, like Saudi Arabia almost. That's fine. It looks fine.
The dumb part about this to me is that while they're coming forward and saying, we don't want them spending too much money, they got these cost overruns happening, they would not care if Powell was lowering interest rates. They're literally only doing this because they want Powell to lower the interest rates, which means, why do they want him to lower the interest rates? Well, because they want to keep spending your grandkids' money at a much lower interest rate than what they're getting right now. And so they want to spend $2 trillion more than what they're taking in, and they want to be able to finance that with these long-term treasuries at a lower interest rate than the higher interest rate, so we're paying less interest. And they have a lot of debt coming up that they need to refinance, basically, and they want lower interest rates to be able to do that. Makes sense. It would save us a lot of money on interest over the next few years if they were to lower the interest rates down to 1% or something like that, like Trump wants them to. Could cause a whole bunch of inflation for them to do that. That wouldn't be good for all the American people.
Prices would definitely go up.
They're going to do anything other than what the actual answer is, which is spend
less
money. Do less. Do less.
That's why interest rates are there. They're there to say, oh, you're spending a little too much. Let's rein it back in a little bit.
They're supposed to see this and say, well, we're paying all this money on interest, and we got to pay interest on the money that we're borrowing here. I guess we're going to have to spend a little bit less money. I guess that's what we're going to have to do. Instead, they're threatening to like imprison the chair of the Federal Reserve because he's keeping interest rates high, and they're not even historically high. Just so you guys know, they're not even historically high at all. They've been way higher than this. But so we can move on. I did want to make sure we played the clip from yesterday because my God, it was the most awkward thing I've ever seen. And so basically as a power move, Trump decided to go tour the facilities that they're building.
Oh, he's a real estate developer.
He is, yeah. So he's got his hard hat on.
He's been in a hard hat many a times.
He's touring with Jerome Powell, who he has repeatedly said needs to be fired, who just got referred to the DOJ for criminal charges for lying to Congress. And so now he is touring the facility with Jerome Powell, and this moment happened that was awesome.
I think we hear the president. Let's tune in.
With the chairman, as you know. Chairman, come on over. And we're just taking a look at what's happening. It's a tough construction job. They're building basements where they didn't exist or expanding them, and a lot of very expensive work. There's no question about it. And Tim has been with me for a long time, and you're in charge of the committee.
Indeed. One of the reasons why I wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses, wanted to figure out why.
Yeah. So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about $3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I got it right here.
That's from anybody at the Fed.
It just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1,
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added
our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work. So, so we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't. Expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President, does the issue give you any? As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
Do you think Mr. President gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to.
I don't want to be personal, but he was just personal. Man, he does kind of look like Ron Paul, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Wow.
As they get older, they're like
now I'm mad at Trump.
Ironically melding together.
I'm mad at Trump. It looks like he's attacking Ron Paul.
Okay. All dumbs aside for the previous portion, that was really funny. I have a tough time watching stuff like that.
I felt, you just see the defeat in Powell's eyes.
Because what are you going to do? You're not going to, you're not going to win in an argument with him right now.
Right.
It's like, no, that's you're including other people. It's like, no, it's 3.1. Yeah. I mean, it's just, and by the way, he did, to do that, they did include a building that was completed 5 years ago, and they just added it to the current building project.
Let's go back to when we first started.
So, yeah, let's just go all the way back. All the way back. So maybe it's dumb for that reason, because from what I found so far, technically Trump was incorrect about that. Okay, a little bit of Thomas Massey stuff. Don't worry, it's not going to win. Let's see here. This is in reference to Massey being out there with his Epstein Files Phase 2. Someone says, was Thomas Massey this loud about Epstein Files during Biden's administration? First off, who cares? Would be the first thing I said. Second, he did, he has tweeted about the Epstein Files several times while Biden was in office, saying things like, I demand the release of the Epstein client list, and a few other things about Epstein. I will say, he didn't do this discharge petition while Biden was in office. And I think there's a clear reason for that. In no way, shape, or form do I think he's like personally trying to go after Trump because he's a secret Trump hater or anything. That would not help him at all to do that. I think he sees that there's a lot of political will to do that right now in the public. And so it's possible to get Congress to actually vote for it.
Yep. We weren't talking really about Epstein during the Biden administration either.
Almost, hardly anyone was talking about it.
Because it wasn't the top of the news cycle.
You know, it just wasn't a thing that we were all talking about. When it popped up, we talked about it.
And by the way, the ones who stirred up the most was the folks in Trump's administration.
Yeah.
Like Patel, who was talking about how we need to release the damn list. He was talking about that during the Biden administration. You had several Republicans talking about why they won't release the list and it's time to. So that's who really drummed up the news story. Then you had Pam Bondi do a little theater, giving out phase 1 binders to all these influencers, saying the rest is sitting on her desk.
Yep.
Expect more soon. And then all of a sudden, then there's no more.
Yeah. Although now
and
today,
it smells.
according to Alex Jones, Trump has said that he is gonna release the list.
He's gonna have to. So
he's not. Alex Jones is blowing like 3 words way out of proportion. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Here's Mike Johnson talking about Thomas Massey.
As the leader of my party, I lead the incumbent protection program. Okay, that's my job. I go all around the country. I travel endlessly, incessantly. I have to raise over $300 million to do that, and we want everybody to come back. And some people, I try to protect them from themselves, you know. They kick and scream and bite their own colleagues. Some people seem to enjoy in trying to inflict political pain on their own teammates. I'm not going to address anybody individually, but I'll tell you that some here are much more frustrated than others. There's a small, tiny handful, but one in particular who's given me lots of consternation. I don't understand. I don't understand Thomas Massey's motivation. I really don't. I don't know how his mind works. I don't know what he's thinking. Thomas Massey could have brought his discharge petition any time over the last 4.5 years. Over the last 4 years of the Biden administration, he could have done that at any time. And now he's clamoring as if there's some sort of timeline on it. It's interesting to me that he chose the election of President Trump to bring this, to team up with the Democrats and bring this discharge petition. So do I have some concern about that? I do. But you know, in me and my way, I try to follow Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment, never speak evil of another Republican. My gosh, it's hard to do sometimes around here. I also try to follow the scripture. You know, it says, bless those who persecute you. So let me just say about Thomas Massey, could you just accept my Southern, bless his heart, okay? I don't know what else to say.
People, like, what a punchable face, you know?
Yeah. He didn't.
Getting up there trying to quote scripture when you're going after somebody standing on principles, like,
He didn't choose Trump's presidency to do this. Pam Bondi got up there way before Thomas Massey put out a discharge petition and got everyone all whipped up about how the list was on her desk and they had thousands of files and they were about to release everything. And then guess what? People were pissed that they didn't do it. And there was a whole lot of people clamoring for getting their hands on that. And so a representative in Congress decided to do a discharge petition. Like, the Trump administration are the ones who started this year. Like in the last few months, not even just before they got into office. They did it since they got into office, mainly Pam Bondi, since she got into office. And so that's why he's doing it right now, because they got everyone all whipped up about it and then said, yeah, there's nothing there. So that's why that's actually happening. Let me make sure I stay on track here.
And as if like they're just supposed to go along with the team.
Yeah.
You know, like, screw your team.
The actual, so Mike Johnson really is the dumb bleep for number 8, just so you know. And so the other side of this is that the House ended early this week in order to prevent Thomas Massey's discharge petition from ripening, that's what it is called, so they couldn't vote on it. So they wouldn't have to go back and talk to their constituents in, what do I can't call when they go back to their constituents and what do you call it when you go
have their little district parties?
Yeah, what do you call that? Someone in the live group, I just had a
campaigning,
just spaced out. No, someone got to tell me. What do you call it? I can't move on until someone tells me what it is.
When you go back to your district.
Do they actually go back though? Costco says.
You mean when they go to like Cancun or Italy?
Cancun. Israel. Yeah. Town hall. Yeah. Okay. There we go. He ended it I literally was not going to go until we figured out what that was.
You held true.
They ended it so they couldn't actually vote on that discharge petition. So that's pretty dumb.
That's
also
dumb. But it's weird what else they're doing. You want to talk about blocking your teammates? That's coming up.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Thomas Massey one?
Yeah, I'm talking about what Speaker Johnson is doing while they're in recess.
Yeah, I haven't figured out why that's happening right now. I'm confused on that one at the moment.
Yep.
So it's not in Don't BLEEP.
Well, I'll just tell you what they're doing. They're basically calling Congress, knowing no one's going to be there, so that they can stop the recess appointments from going through. Which is very strange.
So the rule is there has to be a certain amount of time, a certain amount of days that Congress is on recess for the president to make recess appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, according to Thomas Massey right now, Johnson and Thune in the Senate are planning to call the House and the Senate into session every 4 or 5 days with no one there, just so they can stop Trump from making recess appointments. I'm confused. I want to get more details on this because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, their big thing they've been upset about in the Senate is that the Democrats are like stopping them from voting through Trump's appointees. And Trump was perfectly fine doing a bunch of recess appointments in his first term. And so I don't know why Republicans would get together and block him from doing recess appointments. There's something not making sense for me. Right now, I'm not sure we have the whole story of what's going on. I don't get it yet.
I just find it ironic.
That's weird if they are actually doing. I'm not 100% sure they're doing something that Trump doesn't like right now. They might be doing it for him.
No, I know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why would they be doing that?
So Trump had truthed out. Watch Mark Levin on Fox News. That's our lead up to this little video here.
We have a lot to run on, and you have a lot to run against, given the other party. But I will tell you this. We better be united. We better be strong. We better be focused. We better be articulate. We can't waste our time on Epstein and other stuff that are going on here that some people want us to focus on. I've about had it with all that stuff. We better focus on who we are,
is Mark Levin on the list?
Where we want to take the country, and what they want to do to the country. Mr. Speaker, God bless you, my friend. I appreciate it.
We don't know for sure. All right, so let's get out to the distractions that have been happening. That's number 9. It's just called distractions. And so I want to talk about some of these things. Everyone knows the Epstein thing was dominating the news cycle for a solid 2 weeks. Would you say something? Just Epstein talk for solid 2 weeks. That's all everyone was talking about. And I'm under the opinion that important things have come out for sure in this list of distractions. I'm not saying none of it is important at all, but I'm of the opinion that clearly a whole bunch of stuff got pushed through the press room for the White House in order for them to distract right-wing media from talking about Epstein. You know, they pushed us off of it this week. We were talking about Epstein a whole bunch. Mm-hmm. Then we talked about Russia hoax afterwards.
Well, we did decide we weren't going to talk about Epstein anymore.
Unless there was new news about it. And so my problem is it's so obviously a distraction, and I don't like that they're doing that. I do wish they'd just release whatever this list is, and apparently maybe they're going to do it even though it doesn't exist, which is really funny. And so just some of the distractions that got thrown up. And if you guys can think of any more, you can let me know.
All right, Trump's truth here. The Washington whatevers... which is just the Commanders, right?
Yeah.
I think. Should immediately change their name back to the Washington Redskins football team. There is a big clamoring for this. Likewise, the Cleveland Indians, one of the 6 original baseball teams with a storied past, are great Indian people in massive numbers want this to happen. Their heritage and prestige is systematically being taken away from them. Times are different now than they were 3 or 4 years ago. We are a country of passion and common sense. Owners, get it done.
Get it done.
Get her done.
So we get that part. And then we get this other thing. You just got to remember, just talking Epstein, we want the list. We want the files. We want the information released. We want to figure out if he was working for someone or who was involved with his stuff. And so DNI Tulsi Gabbard comes out. She says I'm releasing 230,000 Martin Luther King Jr. documents for you guys to go through. Also, we're finally going to get down to the bottom of what happened with Martin Luther King Jr. Here's all the stuff, FBI's investigation into the assassination, potential leads, internal FBI memos detailing the progress of the case, information about James Earl Ray's former cellmate who stated he discussed with Ray an alleged assassination plot, and more. Basically, I've heard nothing else about this. And when I saw that there were 230,000 files, I was like, okay, I'm not going to start going through those because
we need AI for that.
It's a total waste of my time. It's not going to happen at all. But as we said, like previously, we just got to keep pushing for the Epstein files. We'll get like most things released, I'm pretty sure, which is good. There's a whole lot of other government secrets out there that are important. That's why you just got to keep pushing for them Epstein files, man. We'll find out about the aliens. We're going to find out about MLK. We'll get the rest of the JFK files, probably the rest of the MLK files.
The Russia hoax.
Rest of the Russia stuff, that's fine. We'll get all the files, so keep pushing about Epstein. This is important if it's true. I don't know if it's true. Stephen Miller went on the news last night, dropped a bombshell on Hannity, revealing that it's not 320,000 children that were trafficked into America by Biden. It's 450,000. It's actually 100,000 more kids out there.
130.
Yeah.
130,000.
130,000 more kids.
Which is bad. That is bad.
Doesn't cite any information behind whether, how we know that there are that many. There could be. That's important to know. And that could just be a normal release. But then we also have Jerome Powell getting referred to the DOJ for a criminal investigation over this whole thing. Now, that's probably more like, related to them wanting him to lower the interest rates. Not a clear distraction. We get Adam Schiff. He's in big trouble. We found out, oddly enough, very recently that he falsified loan documents. We've referred him to the DOJ for criminal referral. We're going to go after these deep state, terrible Democrats, just not the ones that are on that list. We're just going to go after all the other ones, okay? So we're going after Adam Schiff. We got Barack Hussein Obama's guilty of treason. That's a big bombshell. That's throwing a lot of people off the case right now.
That's a former president.
Do you think they would have brought this up last week if the Epstein stuff wasn't going on?
No, I don't think so.
I'll show you the other funny part here in a minute. But we could play the treason. What I do believe is
from your perspective,
meant to distract.
President Obama, it wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they look. He's guilty. It's not a question. I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal.
I don't think it was every word you could think of. Could think of a lot of words. So
have you heard of him? Have you heard of the president in your lifetime?
He also posts out, some AI stuff. It's got Barack Obama's mugshot in here, John Brennan, James Comey, James Clapper, Valerie Jarrett, Susan Rice. I don't know who Samantha Power is, honestly. His text on here says, "How did Samantha Power make all that money?" I don't know.
But she was part of the Shady Bunch.
No one knows. Yeah, she was part of the Shady Bunch.
Yeah.
So there we go. We got that. And he posted out an AI video of Barack Obama getting arrested in the Oval Office. I can play the actual video. But he posted that out. And then he said this morning, yeah, he has presidential immunity. We can't actually charge him with anything. So
presidential immunity would apply to former President Barack Obama and what you're accusing him of doing.
It probably helps him a lot. Probably helps him a lot, the immunity ruling. But it doesn't help the people around him at all. But it probably helps him a lot. He's done criminal acts, there's no question about it. But he has immunity, and it probably helps him a lot.
As have all presidents, by the way, have done several criminal acts.
Many things.
Mostly in regards to war. I mean, Obama should go to jail for killing American citizens with drone bombs.
Yeah, that'd be one.
That's
but
definitely a violation of the Constitution.
That was an official presidential act, though. Like that's within his presidential duties.
Oh, so, well, we accidentally killed some Americans.
So what are you going to do about that? Yeah, the frustrating part about that little thing is that now I read something earlier in the week that said immunity doesn't cover this, but it was like literally 5 seconds of I just saw a flash through like, oh, it doesn't cover for this reason. And then I've read some more on it. I'm like, yeah, well, this is an official presidential action taken. This is within the scope of his job as the president. Even if he did ask someone to include some shoddy intelligence in this intelligence assessment, like, it's probably not a crime. It's probably not a crime. And even if it is a crime, the Supreme Court ruled on this with Trump, And you know who knew that this entire time that they've been talking about it? Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Trump knew that. Tulsi, when she goes up there and accuses Obama of treason and a coup and all that, she knew that. She knew that he had immunity on this stuff. But what do? They got a whole bunch of people on the right calling for Obama's arrest. Trump's posting out videos of Obama getting arrested, posting out pictures, AI of him in a jumpsuit.
But none of it is a distraction.
The whole time. No, definitely not. Definitely not at all. They're definitely going to arrest some people over this thing for sure. They're really going to get down the justice on this, and it was always going to happen this week, 100%. Now, the other thing that happened, not that there is a list, but Trump said he does have a list and that he's going to release it. That's according to Alex Jones. Now, unfortunately, there's like 3 or 4 words that he says in here. Now, he does name some people. He names Clinton, Larry Summers, a couple other people in here, all that are in the publicly available information that we all already have.
Mm-hmm.
We've all already seen. But this is a minute from his interview this morning.
See a big difference. Because I know there's so many with the Glenn Maxwell. Is that on the table?
Nice shot of that guy's head.
Todd Blanche is a great gentleman. He's a great man. He's a great lawyer. He's got a great heart. But he's over there now. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I certainly can't talk about pardons.
Can you trust what she's telling him? She's a convicted trafficker who's eager to get out of prison.
Well, he's a professional lawyer. I think he's been through things like this before. But you should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell didn't. Thank you very much.
All right. So all he said in that thing was, you should focus on this person that we already knew about. You should focus on this person that we already knew about. I'll give you a list. And that's it. Alex Jones has turned this whole thing into...
But don't focus on me.
Yeah, not me at all.
I didn't live with him.
Alex Jones has turned this whole thing into a bombshell. Trump says he has a list and he's going to release it. Is that what you guys just heard in that clip right there?
No.
Is that what any of you heard? Because this is a clip posted by Alex Jones on his page. And his comment says he said he has a list and he's going to release it. And he puts out a 27-minute long video about how right he was, about how Trump was going to do the right thing based on that clip that we just watched right there, where he names people that we already knew were on the list and says, I'll give you a list. And that's it. I mean, here.
I've been waiting for this a long time.
He is entertaining.
Yeah, I've got a theory on this before we get to the very last one, which we'll spend 2 minutes on. My theory on this, if he is in fact going to release any kind of a list, according to Alex Jones, he just said he's going to release a list right there. So let's play this out. If I were Trump and I was going to release it, for whatever reason he hasn't done it so far, probably something bad. I don't know. But
it's Trump is in the Trump. He's doing everything he can to make sure that when it comes out, they're focused on everyone else but him.
I don't think he's going to release, like, if there is the list or like an official list or whatever. I think the White House is going to put out a list of people that they know went to Epstein's Island, for sure. I don't think they're going to include people who flew on the plane or people who were associates. They're going to say, well, the people who went to the island, what do you think they were doing on that island? And so here's a list of the people that went to Epstein's Island, the whole list. Trump's not going to be on that one. I don't think he ever went there.
He didn't go to the island.
He might have been on Epstein's plane before. So I think they're going to release a list of people who went to the island. What the heck do you think they were doing on the island? But they've already said, we've got no proof of any criminal activity in any of this. We've got no arrestable offenses that we can do, no chargeable offenses in any of these documents. So if they are going to release any kind of a list, my guess would be it's going to be a list of people that went to the island. Emphasized by the fact that Trump said, I never went to the island at the end of that clip right there. So we'll see. Yes, absolutely, 100%. I think the news cycle over the last week has been intended to distract from what was a really bad news cycle for Trump. Probably really smart on them to do that.
Of course.
Not even saying it's dumb. If they're going to refuse to release any of that stuff and they want the news cycle to change, you change the news cycle. And that is what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did it with a bunch of non-chargeable offenses with the Russia thing, which is very important. God, we did an hour-and-a-half long episode on it. It's super important stuff. But I'm also not going to say it wasn't released at the specific time to cause a distraction for the people on the right away from what the news cycle was at that time. Of course it was. 100% it was.
Yeah.
There's no question that it was. Last thing.
And you can have a question. We just won't believe you.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, he posted about all the Epstein scam and stuff. This is not the last thing. He posted about the Epstein scam and all that. It was funny. He said, hopefully the grand jury files will put an end to this hoax. Now, he said that hours after the news had come out that the grand jury was not going to release the files.
Yeah.
And he still says,
the
hopefully
judge's hands were tied.
Yeah, the judge said his hands were tied. What was really funny about that, I had to include this. Charlie Kirk says, President Trump's DOJ moved to release valuable Epstein information, and federal judge is blocking their pursuit of transparency. Donald Trump Jr. says, I wonder why an Obama-appointed judge would do such things. I just want to point out that we said that exact scenario was going to happen on Tuesday's show, I'm pretty sure, when we said that there was a very small likelihood that the grand jury stuff would come out. Even if it did, it's a very small amount of the stuff. And when they said no, that it was going to be blamed on an Obama judge.
By the way, courts have different rules when it comes to secrecy.
Yeah.
Especially when it includes juveniles.
It's got to be like for reasons of national security
Yes.
for them to be able to do that. All right, last thing.
I obviously have a kid, and so they're, even like parenting agreements are juvenile, considered juvenile and are not released because he's a kid.
Yeah.
So things that have happened in court with Parker, my kid, are not released.
Like Congress,
no one can get it.
Congress will have to compel the release of that grand jury stuff.
Yes.
I think this is going to all have to come from Congress. So during this whole process this morning, last thing, dumb bleep number 10, and then everyone who's hanging out just needs to go start getting your votes in. So now they're talking about all the tariff revenue they've had coming in. And it's been trending on the side of my page here. They're talking about doing a tariff rebate for everyone. Now, by talking about, I mean this reporter just gave Trump that idea right there while he was standing there, because you can see the look on his face when he asked him the question. And then he says, yeah, we've been talking about it. But here's the talk about a tariff. They're taking in so much money that they want to give the American people a rebate from all this money they've taken in from these countries overseas.
Cash for clunkers.
Don't you feel it, Mr. President? With all of that revenue coming in tens and tens of billions of dollars, do you think there is the possibility of a rebate to the American public in terms of all of that money?
We're thinking about that, actually. We have so much money coming in. We're thinking about a little rebate, but the big thing we want to do is pay down debt. But we're thinking about a rebate. That's a very good question. You just made a lot of news. We're thinking about a rebate because we have so much money coming in from tariffs that a little rebate for people of a certain income level might be very nice.
All right. They totally weren't thinking about that. He just got that idea from them.
And he just said, he almost said that's a very good idea. But
Yeah.
He just said,
you can see
that's
the
a
look
very
on
good
his,
question.
You can see the look on his face when he says
He
it.
just made a lot of news.
There's a look on his face right there. That is him hearing that idea for the first time. And he's smart. He immediately goes, said, yeah, we're thinking about that. Josh Hawley says he's going to introduce legislation in the Senate to send a rebate check to every working person in America.
Just what we need for inflation, by the way.
That's going to be, well, the funny part about this is it's taken from the American people, like any other rebate, like a tax rebate. Like, hey, we just took a bunch of money from you, and
Here's
a
little
bit of your money.
return.
Here's a little tax refund for you guys. There's a little return for y'all. The other stupid thing about this is if you're going to do a tariff rebate, like the idea of tariffs, and people are going to jump on this like they jumped on the Doge checks, those $5,000 Doge checks that we're all going to get. If you're going to do tariffs, the idea is to incentivize people to buy domestic, not buy foreign goods. The way that you do that is by increasing the price of foreign goods for people in your country buying those. All right, so if you then, because people are buying the foreign goods and you take in a bunch of tariffs, then give people money in the form of a rebate from the money that you took in,
they're going to keep buying the foreign goods.
They didn't have money to continue buying foreign goods after that because you've just refunded them the extra money that cost to buy the foreign goods. Like it takes away the entire incentive process that a tariff is supposed to have.
Yeah.
You're supposed to make it more expensive.
Except it does give it gives the government a chance for it to pass through them.
Yes.
So they can take a percentage.
Well, they're going to take a cut for sure.
Yes.
Okay, let's get the votes in. Let's see what those things were. This episode has been long and hard. Number 1, WNBA.
It's bigger, blacker, and uncut.
Number 2, Stephen Colbert. Number 3, Trumpflation. Number 4, $6.8 million USPS EVs. Number 5, Titans Stadium Noose. Number 6, offensive Redskins. Number 7, Trump and Powell. I really just wanted to play that clip of them at the Fed.
The awkward clip.
It was just a good clip to play. Number 8, Mike Johnson, the Massey, specifically closing Congress early this week so they couldn't have that vote. Number 9, Distractions. And number 10, Tariff Rebate.
All right, get your votes in. We have an early leader, probably going to take it here. But while you're voting, I'm going to tell you to share the show. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Those mean a lot to us and helps the algorithm. We are gaining listeners, so we do appreciate what you all are doing to help support the show. And maybe one day we'll get to the Breakfast Club level.
Yeah.
For Liberty. And talk about real stuff with real people. And Nate's back is still killing him.
Mm-hmm.
He's leaning now to try to be in a more comfortable position. So share the show for him.
Got to take some of the pressure off the lower back.
Go to GodHatesFeds.com. Get your some merchandise. That helps support the show as well. There's a button. Click it. It's called JoinGML.com. It's a great button. One of the best buttons I've ever seen.
Other buttons, terrible.
Other button, yeah. This one's good. JoinGML.com. Go to JoinGML.com. Be part of the Fed Haters Club, the best club. I see it on the screen right there. You can't see it, but I can see it. It says Fed Haters Club. Good Morning Liberty. That's the place you want to be because the feds suck.
Yeah, and we hate
mainly.
them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, God hates them.
Yeah.
And if you
can we name the Washington Commanders to the Washington Feds?
The Washington. Why not?
Why not do that?
Start a petition.
Washington Spooks.
Visit the links in the show notes to support the sponsors and support this show. That helps a lot too. And it looks like our winner is going to be the WNBA.
That's wow.
Pay me what you owe me.
Must be the first time for them winning
to win an
something.
Award.
How about that?
All right.
Wow.
Great episode.
Good job.
Appreciate you all hanging out with us that are in the Fed Haters Club. All you listening on the podcast should hop in to the Fed Haters Club. Do that at the links I told you to do that at. And if you do, then we'll be back again on Monday. Hope you have a good day, a good weekend, and a good morning, Liberty.